In this lesson, we'll work on the ears. When animating the ears, we're going to want to consider the horse's speed. He's moving pretty quickly, so the ears are going to help us to reflect that swift movement. Let's go ahead and show our curves. Select our head control, and doing so we can see where our ear controls are at, both for the right and left side. And we're going to do something slightly different with the ears here. What we'll do is work on one side, and then we're going to copy and paste that information to the other side. And doing so, we're going to notice that it's really going to save us time, and it's going to be more efficient. What we'll also do is offset our value slightly so that both ears aren't moving at the same time. Okay, we want them asymmetrical, and that's going to add more to our animation by doing so. We want to beware of twinning, things moving at the same time, because it's not realistic. Let's go ahead and also bring back our graph editor to see where we're going to be setting our keys. And we'll begin, again, starting with the left ear. And once we're done with that, we'll copy and paste over to the right. So let's start with the base of the left ear. That's going to be the ear L root curl attribute. We'll make sure we're there. We'll hit F to frame our keys, so we can see where we're going to be placing our keys. And begin. So as the head's moving back, we're going to want the ears to rotate a little bit more forward. And then as the head's moving forward, the ears are going to move more back. And because of this being a forward run, the ears are going to favor more of the down or back position. So knowing that, let's go to about frame 3, and we're going to want to go to the L root curl channel, and let's go ahead and rotate that back some. Okay, not too much, to about there. Then as we get to frame 9, we're going to want the ears rotated back more, to about here. Alright, great. So as we go ahead and hit play, we can see what we get. Alright, and the ears are looking okay. They're a bit poppy, but they're not looking correct because what we want is for this pose on frame 3 to be the most that the ears forward. So because of that, what we need to do is fix our keys on frames 1 and 13. Let's go back to our channel for our L root curl and the graph editor, and we'll select the keys from frames 1 and 13. Let's move them up so that they're in between the keys on frames 3 and 9. And then we'll deselect them, making sure the attribute's still selected, and hit F so we can get a better view of them. And we're going to want these keys on frames 1 and 13 to be up a little bit closer to the key on frame 9, so that the ears are going to hold in more of that position. Okay, and then it's going to move swiftly into the pose that we have on frame 3 to get the right movement. And then we can even bring down the right halves of our tangent handles so we can fix the flow here. Now we're not going to notice too much movement out of the root. Most of the movement's going to come from animating the midsection of the ear. But we can still hit play to get a feel of what we have now. Alright, great. So there's pretty much the root. Okay. Now from there, let's go ahead and work on our mid of the ear. Okay, and for that, what we could do is even offset our poses just slightly and see if we'll get a better result doing that. We want to keep in mind follow through. So let's start at frame 4, and with that, we'll go this time to our ear, left ear mid. Let's go ahead and rotate that up some. And then we'll go to about frame 10, and let's go ahead and bring that back. Okay, not too much. It's about there. And we could also go ahead and check out our channel to see how our keys are looking, our F curves. There it is. Okay, so let's see what happens if we go ahead and hit play. Alright, it's looking pretty good, but we need to adjust some of our timing and spacing here for these poses. Remember, they should favor more of our position on frame 10. So we'll go back, take these keys, bring them up, and also bring down the right halves of their tangency just slightly. Let's see what this gives us when we hit play. Alright, notice that's looking pretty good. Let's see what happens if we even take these mid keys on frames 4 and 10, and let's shift them over so that they're on the same position as our keys on frames for the root of the ear. Let's see what happens when we hit play. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. Alright, great. So here, even though we're not offsetting our keys this time, we're still getting some nice results out of the air. And if we wanted to, it does look a little bit poppy, so if we wanted to, we could even take this key on frame 3, bring it up a slight bit, so it's not moving that far up. And then we could take the keys on frames 1 and 13 and move them down slightly. Okay, again, to get rid of that snappiness out of our ear. And then from there, we can hide our curves and hit play to see what we get now. Alright, much better. The ears are looking really nice. Now before we're done with this ear, before we can call it finished, we're just about there, but we need to do one more thing, and that's pose the turn of the ear at the root so that it'll be turned correctly. Now we won't again be animating in this, just posing it so it's posed right. So what we want to do on frame 1 is go to our left root turn attribute and just turn the ear going in the negative so it's about at this position. Great, and then once we have that value, we can go back to our graph editor, go to our left turn attribute, select this key, copy its value, and paste it on frame 13 so that they'll be the same. Excellent. So now we can hide our curves and do a play blast to see how our ears are looking. Okay, just focusing on the head. Here it is. Great, so there is our left ear. It's looking really nice. And remember, for the right ear, what we're going to do is copy and paste the information we have on the left to it. And we do need to get it moving because it's rather stiff and it's faced the wrong way and it's not looking good at all. So in the next lesson, we'll spend the time going over copying and pasting, going through our options and seeing what's going to work for us to get the right look.